In the world of WWE, superstars are used to living under the spotlight. Every match, every promo, every storyline is crafted for millions to see. But sometimes the spotlight shifts somewhere it was never meant to go, their private lives. Over the years, several wrestlers have found themselves at the center of scandals when personal selfies and intimate photos surfaced online without consent. What seemed like harmless snapshots quickly turned into moments of regret, sparking headlines, backlash, and personal turmoil. These weren't storylines designed for TV. They were invasions of privacy that left real scars. In this video, we'll look back at the WWE selfies that never should have gone public and the lasting impact they had on the stars involved. Seth Rollins' scandal rocks WWE. In February 2015, WWE fans were stunned when private photos of Seth Rollins surfaced online. At the time, Rollins was one of the company's fastest rising stars, climbing the ladder as part of the Authority storyline and already positioned as the future of WWE. But suddenly, the spotlight shifted for all the wrong reasons. Rollins' social media accounts, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, were compromised. Hackers posted a nude photo of then NXT wrestler Zara Schreiber on his official pages, instantly going viral. What made the situation worse was Rollins' fiancée at the time, Legla Schultz, retaliating by posting nude photos of Rollins himself on her own social media. The incident became a scandal overnight. Fans and mainstream media outlets covered it extensively, putting enormous pressure on Rollins and WWE. Rollins issued a public apology on Twitter, writing, "I would like to apologize to all the WWE fans and my family and friends for private photographs that were distributed without my consent." Behind the scenes, WWE reportedly debated disciplinary action, not because Rollins was blamed for the hack, but because some believed the original posting of Schreiber's photo may have been a mistake. The company was concerned about its PG image and the message such scandals sent to sponsors. While Rollins wasn't punished severely, WWE did take the matter seriously. Reports say they even held a mandatory social media etiquette meeting for talent, reminding everyone to safeguard private content. For Rollins, the scandal was both personal and professional. It complicated his career momentum and created headlines that had nothing to do with wrestling. While he weathered the storm and went on to become one of WWE's top stars, this moment is still remembered as one of the most shocking cyber leaks in wrestling history. Zara Schreiber's career. Cut short, Rollins wasn't the only one caught up in the scandal. Zara Schreiber, the woman whose photo first appeared on his hacked account, faced her own career-ending controversy. A few months after the 2015 leak, old Instagram posts of hers resurfaced, showing offensive Nazi-themed images. One infamous picture depicted a My Little Pony character with a Hitler mustache and swastika armband. When confronted, Schreiber initially defended herself, saying she was simply interested in history and had the right to post what she wanted. But WWE wasn't having it. In August 2015, the company fired Schreiber immediately, citing her inappropriate and offensive remarks. Afterward, Schreiber issued a public statement expressing heartbreak over losing her dream job. She clarified that her posts weren't meant to promote Nazi ideology, but rather stemmed from a misguided fascination with World War II history. She even referenced her family's ties to the White Rose movement, a resistance group that opposed Nazi rule. Despite the explanation, the damage was irreversible. This incident serves as a cautionary tale, not just about leaks, but about how past social media behavior can come back to haunt a career. The 2017 fappening scandal hits WWE. If 2015 brought one major scandal, 2017 brought a wave of them. Known as the Fappening 2.0, hackers targeted celebrities, athletes, and yes, WWE wrestlers. The goal, to leak private photos and videos for mass exposure. Caitlyn Celeste Bonin, former Divas champion. Caitlyn, known for her powerhouse style and unique look, became one of the victims. Over 24 explicit photos and several videos were leaked, including one where she appeared in a suggestive outfit addressing someone directly. While Caitlyn didn't publicly comment, the violation of her privacy was devastating. For someone who had already been targeted before, the repeated invasion was not just humiliating but also emotionally exhausting. Maria Kanellis. Another victim was Maria Kanellis, who had long been admired by WWE fans. Unlike Caitlyn, Maria addressed the leaks head-on. On her Facebook page, she wrote a heartfelt post emphasizing that the images were private, meant for her husband Mike Bennett, and that the real issue wasn't the nudity but the violation of trust and privacy. Maria used the moment to make a bigger point about body positivity and societal double standards. She argued that people shouldn't shame women for their bodies or sexuality, especially when violence is more normalized in media than nudity. Her mature, thoughtful response turned a painful violation into a powerful conversation about how society views women. Paige's painful ordeal. The most infamous case, however, was Paige's 2017 scandal. Paige, whose real name is Soraya Jade Bevis, had already been struggling with injuries, backstage controversies, and pressure as one of WWE's youngest Divas champions. When private photos and videos of her were leaked online, the fallout was catastrophic. The leaks included intimate footage involving multiple partners, including other wrestlers, which fueled gossip and humiliation. Paige later revealed just how deeply the scandal affected her. In interviews, she admitted she fell into depression, struggled with eating disorders, and even contemplated suicide. Her story became a raw reminder of how cyber attacks can destroy lives. Paige's family rallied around her, and she slowly found her way back, returning to WWE as SmackDown General Manager in 2018. But the scars from that period never fully went away. Even years later, Paige has spoken about the trauma, explaining how she felt robbed of her dignity and how difficult it was to rebuild confidence. Why these scandals mattered, WWE's locker room is no stranger to controversy, but these leaks struck differently because they blurred the line between public personas and private lives. In a business built on characters, storylines, and spectacle, suddenly wrestlers were vulnerable human beings, exposed in ways they never consented to. For WWE, the incidents were a nightmare. The company has always been protective of its PG image, especially since the late 2000s, and each scandal risked upsetting sponsors, networks, and fans. It forced WWE to rethink its policies, educate talent on digital security, and tread carefully in how it supported victims while maintaining its public reputation. For the wrestlers, the impact was far more personal. Careers were derailed, reputations damaged, and emotional trauma inflicted. Some, like Rollins, managed to recover and thrive. Others, like Schreiber, lost everything. And victims like Paige faced battles that went far beyond wrestling. WWE stars and the Selfies. They wish had stayed private. When you think of WWE, you probably picture larger-than-life entrances, dramatic storylines, and unforgettable matches. But outside the ring, some of the company's biggest names have faced battles they never wanted, deeply personal photos and videos being leaked online. These weren't scripted rivalries or planned controversies. They were real-life violations that left scars. Some stars kept quiet, others spoke out, but all of them had their lives shaken by something as simple as a selfie. Let's walk through some of the most heartbreaking stories of WWE superstars caught in scandals they never asked for. Paige, from champion to target. In 2017, Paige became the face of one of the darkest chapters in WWE history. Still just 19 when many of the videos were recorded, she was already battling injuries and struggling with addiction. Then the unthinkable happened. Private footage of her with Brad Maddox and Xavier Woods was leaked across the internet. Paige later said it was the worst moment of her life. The humiliation was so overwhelming that she ran out of her house, hiding in a bush because she felt like everyone could see right through her. She admitted she didn't want to be alive anymore. Her parents were heartbroken. Her father, Ricky Knight, begged fans to leave her alone, while her mother blasted those who mocked her daughter's pain. Paige, terrified her dad would be ashamed of her, found strength when he told her he was still proud. That reassurance, she said, saved her. The road back wasn't easy. Strangers shouted cruel things at her in public. Depression haunted her for years. But Paige eventually turned her suffering into a cautionary tale, reminding others of the dangers of recording intimate moments. Today, she reflects on the scandal as a painful lesson that shaped her resilience. Xavier Woods and Brad Maddox caught in the crossfire. The leak didn't just affect Paige. Xavier Woods, then rising to stardom as part of the New Day, suddenly found his personal life splashed across headlines. WWE never addressed it formally, but during a live show, Woods jokingly brushed it off with his teammates, an attempt to ease the tension. Brad Maddox, who filmed much of the footage, had already been released by WWE in 2015. After the leak, he largely disappeared from the public eye and avoided addressing the scandal altogether. Though his role was central, most of the focus stayed on Paige, Charlotte Flair, a queen's privacy stolen. Just 2 months later, another WWE star was targeted. Charlotte Flair, already carrying the weight of being one of the top women in wrestling, saw her private photos stolen and plastered online in May 2017. She responded quickly and firmly on Twitter, "Private photos of mine were stolen and shared publicly without my consent. These images must be removed from the internet immediately." Charlotte didn't say much more, but her anger spoke volumes. The leak was a violation, pure and simple. Yet she didn't let it define her. She pressed forward, continuing her reign as one of WWE's most dominant performers, proving she wouldn't be broken by someone else's actions. Melina Perez. A personal betrayal. For former WWE star Melina Perez, the leak of her intimate photos was more than embarrassing, it was devastating. She described it as horrific, comparing the violation to a past assault she had endured. The photos had been meant for someone she trusted. To see them stolen and shared without consent left her furious and deeply hurt. Melina also spoke out about how women are often treated in these situations, objectified, mocked, and dehumanized, as if their feelings don't matter. What made it harder for her was the fact that she had always tried to keep her body private, even turning down Playboy offers during her WWE career. The betrayal cut deep, but over time she worked to reclaim her confidence. She made it clear the shame never belonged to her, it belonged to the people who violated her. Why these leaks hit so hard? These weren't storylines WWE could write their way out of. They weren't kayfabe scandals. They were real invasions of privacy that left lasting damage. Paige nearly lost her life to the shame. Charlotte had her trust shattered. Melina relived old wounds. The company itself faced a tricky situation. WWE had carefully built its brand into a PG product, with sponsors and families watching closely. Leaked scandals could have been disastrous, but in most cases, WWE didn't punish the victims. They understood these were crimes against their talent, not mistakes their talent made. Lessons in a digital world. The stories of leaked photos and videos involving WWE superstars highlight one of the most uncomfortable truths about our modern age. Privacy is no longer guaranteed. For wrestlers who already spend their lives in the spotlight, the risks are magnified. A single hacked phone, a stolen password, or even a moment of misplaced trust can unravel years of hard work and leave lasting scars, both personally and professionally. Technology has made it easier than ever to share memories, connect with loved ones, and document private moments. But that same convenience comes with a dark side. Once something is uploaded or stored digitally, the potential for it to fall into the wrong hands is always there. For celebrities, and especially WWE superstars who are constantly under public scrutiny, the stakes are higher. A leak doesn't just affect their personal lives. It can derail storylines, shake fan trust, and even impact sponsorships. Take Paige's situation, for example. She was just 19 when the videos were recorded, still trying to find her footing in the business and already struggling with immense personal pressures. When her private moments were leaked, it wasn't just an invasion of her privacy, it was a brutal attack on her identity. Strangers judged her not as a young woman dealing with a violation, but as a character they thought they knew. The humanity behind the performer was lost in the noise of internet gossip. And Paige isn't alone. Charlotte Flair, Melina Perez, and Maria Kanellis all dealt with similar violations, each forced to face the public fallout of something that should have remained private. These weren't scandals in the sense of scripted wrestling drama. They were deeply personal betrayals. Yet too often fans and tabloids treated them like entertainment, forgetting that real people were suffering. That's where empathy comes in. It's easy to click on a leaked photo or share a link without thinking twice. But behind every one of those clicks is a human being, a daughter, a son, a sibling, a partner, struggling with humiliation, anger, and pain. What might feel like harmless curiosity to one person can contribute to the ongoing trauma of someone who has already been violated. Wrestling fans in particular have a responsibility here. WWE has always blurred the lines between reality and storytelling, which makes it tempting to view everything involving wrestlers as part of the show. But there are moments like these leaks that are undeniably real. They're not promos, not rivalries, not feuds. They're personal crises that deserve compassion, not mockery. Moving forward, Paige, Charlotte, Melina, and others may always carry the scars of those leaks, but they also showed incredible strength. Paige fought her way back from depression and shame. Charlotte refused to let the hackers derail her legacy. Melina spoke out bravely about violation and healing. In the end, these weren't just selfies gone wrong. They were reminders of how cruel the internet can be and how important it is to protect and support those whose trust has been broken. Final thoughts. In professional wrestling, the spotlight has always been about spectacle. It's about the roar of the crowd, the pyrotechnics, the entrances, and the characters who seem larger than life. Wrestlers step into the ring to entertain, to embody heroes or villains, and to make fans feel something bigger than reality. But when the spotlight shifts from the ring to their personal lives, it can expose something far more raw: their humanity, their mistakes, and their vulnerabilities. The leaks that affected WWE Superstars weren't scripted angles. They weren't promos or storylines designed to grab ratings. They were deeply personal violations. These men and women didn't choose for their private moments to become public. The exposure was forced upon them, and the fallout was cruel and relentless. For many fans, it may have been easy to view these incidents as scandals or fodder for gossip. But when you strip away the fame and the spotlight, you're left with ordinary people dealing with extraordinary humiliation and pain.